It's like standing at the crossroads where hope and fear shake hands. If you've ever felt the electric tension of possibility, this moment was made for you. I can hear it in the hum of the markets, in the anxious beating of my own heart. Bitcoin, the old king, and its court of altcoins are on the precipice, teetering at the very edge of what could become the next chapter or a long winter night. Before we dive further, if you haven't already, I invite you to join our journey. Subscribe to Crypto 101 Central and tap that bell. Let's navigate these stormy waters together and make sure you're the first to know when the tides start to turn. Notifications on so you're never left behind when the next wave hits. There are days when I look at the charts and feel as though I'm staring into a mirror that reflects more than just numbers. Today, the story unfolding is written in red. Bitcoin, once again, knocks its head against a wall of resistance. A barrier so familiar it feels almost alive. A silent, immovable mountain. The U.S. stock market, mighty and unyielding, is enacting its own drama. The S&P 500 opened near its all-time highs, a fragile euphoria, but then a rejection, sudden and sharp, slicing down more than 1% in a single hour, a reminder that even giants can falter. Every flicker of the candle on those charts is a heartbeat, and right now, it's erratic. Ethereum, ever the graceful shadow, is dancing back from resistance. While Bitcoin hunts for liquidity below, its movement's deliberate, predatory. XRP, battered from its zenith, tests support with trembling hands, the ground beneath thinning. I wonder, how many times can a market beg for mercy before the ground truly collapses? Sometimes, I find myself whispering to the screen, as if my conviction could change the course. And yet, the market is not interested in our feelings. The short-term picture, clear as frost, paints resistance around the highs. Struggles. I won't deceive you that bullish momentum will suddenly break through. We are creatures of cycles, fated to dance to rhythms older than any one trader. Even so, part of me longs for that miraculous resurgence, a glimmer that maybe, this time, the story will end differently. I want you to see what I see. On the weekly chart, Bitcoin's super trend indicator still bleeds red. Not the furious red of a crash, but the slow, ominous red of a wound that refuses to heal. Nothing much has shifted in months. Black cast shadow of a massive bearish divergence remains unchallenged. No dazzling reversal, no siren call. This is not a ticking time bomb, not a trigger for panic in hours or days, but a slow, multi-month grind downward. I remember the way people used to talk. Every oversold reading, a call for hope. Every bottom a promise. But the last time Bitcoin's weekly RSI dipped into oversold territory was in mid-2022, and though a relief followed, it was not the end. Only a temporary plateau before lower valleys. It's exhausting sometimes. Watching these patterns, feeling them etch themselves across my nerves. The larger trend, cold and impersonal, stares back. Still bearish. Still mocking those who dare to hope for an easy way out. No, we are not in the clear yet. Shifting to the 3-day chart, there is a stubborn fight at the local low, around 60,000. If, and it feels like a heavy if, the price slumps further, I see sturdy support brewing between 53,000 and 56,000. Conversely, resistance is a fortress at 72,000, forming the floor of a wider, forbidding area that stretches up towards 76,000. On so many nights, I have watched the price dart to 72,000, only to recoil. The memory of April last year lingers, an echo of support turned into resistance. A subtle betrayal in the price's story. Still, hope flickers. The Bitcoin RSI on the 3-day is flirting with oversold again after an anemic bounce. There hasn't been enough time to reset, to climb out of these trenches. It is entirely possible, likely with how the market likes to tease, that we will see price action weave sideways, a choppy, frustrating waltz between support and resistance. Bullish, bearish, neither sticks for long. The market is restless, directionless, desperate for a breakthrough that refuses to arrive. So, I ask, are you paying attention? This tug-of-war is not new. I remind myself, and you, to measure hope carefully. Do not expect the market to shower us with gifts, not while the stock market itself is locked in its own drama. There is a symbiosis here, an invisible string tying our fate to theirs. If we scale closer in the 2-hour window, the realm of the impatient, Bitcoin continues its downward rejection from just below 72,000. The RSI edges towards oversold, but not quite. More downside may come. brief but sharp before the pressure releases. Oversold is not salvation, only an indication of exhaustion, a sigh before another sprint. Liquidity, too, has been swept aside just below 67,000. Minor pockets have already been drained, yet a significant pool waits above at around 72,400. It's a lighthouse for those hunting movement, traders watching, poised for the next twist. I have learned, sometimes painfully, that no single chart, no solitary indicator rules these markets. Each tells only part of the story. Together, they create a mosaic, jagged and beautiful. And with the stock market wrestling resistance and Bitcoin recoiling from its own, the next couple of days may feel claustrophobic. My expectation? We hover, stubbornly, above 60,000. A local low, nothing more, nothing final. Within this range, between 60,000 and 72,000, we will likely bounce, swinging from support to rejection as the market empties its lungs. Yet, let me be clear. The short-term picture is a mosaic of uncertainty, but the longer-term trend, weeks stretching into months, remains draped in shadow. This is not the bottom. The night has not yet lifted. If any of this resonates, consider giving this video a like. Each tap is a heartbeat, a way for us to measure who's sharing this journey, who feels the tremors. And if you see the world differently, or if the fear and hope within you are wrestling for dominance as they do in me, leave a comment. I want to know your thoughts, your anxieties, your strategies for surviving the storm. Looking to the altcoin sea, the waves are no kinder. Dominance charts show Bitcoin's grip remains steady. Altcoins drift in its wake, mimicking every twist. Ethereum on the 3-day 2 glances off resistance around 2,150 to 2,250 and moves toward that nervous shore at 1,800. Fibonacci levels whisper their warnings. Should we close below 1,800, the next abyss yawns between 1,500 and 1,600. And yet, the RSI teeters on oversold. Relief could come soon, a short-term bounce, a gasp between storms. But the overarching trend still stitched with bearish thread. XRP tells a similar tale. I remember, like it was yesterday, the world's disbelief at the warnings of collapse, back when prices soared above $3. Now, support hangs in the balance between 130 and 140, another Fibonacci bastion, a desperate last stand. Should 130 fall, the next targets are 113, then the hollow between 90 and 100. Here too, the RSI signals conditions ripe for a relief rally. Not a resurrection, but a pause, maybe a sideways drift. I remind myself, and you, trading opportunities do exist, but confirmation and caution are the twin gatekeepers. Solana stands in the shadows, retesting 75 to 80, an area rich with memories of support. Let it fall below 75, and 68 beckons, then far darker realms beyond. Oversold readings hint that a bounce, a breath, may be due. But, as with everything in this market, nothing is guaranteed. Relief doesn't mean rescue. Chainlink is much the same, battered, shivering between 8 and 850, maybe as low as 790. Watch the RSI, watch Bitcoin. As the king moves, so do its subjects. Lose support here, and the journey downwards could stretch to the haunted ground of $5, perhaps $5.50. A sobering thought. And yet, amid this uncertainty, opportunity lingers. For those who are ready, for those who study the signs and move with intention, the links in the description below unlock exchanges offering exclusive pools for traders. 50,000 Tether in one, 800,000 US dollars in another. I mention this not as an enticement but as an option. The market rewards the prepared, but punishes the reckless. These platforms are no KYC. The bonuses, real but fleeting. I feel compelled once more to remind you, if you're not subscribed, do so now and hit the bell one more time. Don't let another move slip away unseen. And if you want to learn how to profit from these bewildering sideways markets, how to ride out the turbulence whether the tides rise or recede, watch the videos that appear on your screen now. Their lessons are written in the language of survival, one for bullish and bearish plays, another for thriving in the choppy grind of sideways action. This is our story, written in bullish surges and bear market surrenders, in every moment we choose not to look away. Thank you for sharing it with me. Until next time, keep searching for the patterns, keep listening to your instincts, and above all, stay alive in the labyrinth. I'll meet you in the next chapter, in the next uncharted passage of Crypto 101 Central.